Hello everyone, this is the Prussian Prince with another Total War Follow the Samurai tournament match cast. This is the Chaos Riders tournament, the round of 32 match between a Greyhound from TFC clan and Klayton from VM. Now both of these players are quite good, so I think that what's going to happen here is it might be a close match, but I still prefer Klayton's chances. I think he's going to take this something like 3-1 in my opinions, but we will see if that actually ends up happening as the game loads up. Looks like it's unfortunately a spectator replay, which means I cannot actually see this properly. I cannot pause. And by the way, why can spectator replays not pause? Give you the ability to pause. That's honestly really strange. So what I have to do is I have to just tab out of the game myself so that the game pauses and you can see like this. So basically, well, now since I'm tabbed out, you can still see the game, but I can't see what's happening, so I need to tab back in. So we see the archery dojo and the sword dojo. You could probably see it yourself, but still, I couldn't see it while I was tapped out. Anyway, 2 Yari key for Greyhound over here. The right flank looks like they're both, well, one rank 2, one rank 1. He has a 150 range, looks like 2 Shogunate Guard infantry, some Red Bears, White Bear mix on the field, a revolver cap as well. General Hatamoto, he's command because he has stand and fight, and the Saber Cav. And yeah, now for Klayton we see, looks like a Shogunate Guard infantry, a Royal Marine unit, some Yari key on the field, the rank 2 one engaging here. The Royal Marines getting first shot off on these units, should pull back right now. Ooh, this engagement is really bad for Klayton because he gets shot at by Infantry de Marine. Greyhound is gonna lose his Yari keys here. This is not the greatest engagement for him. He does end up pulling away, but now he's gonna lose a few of these guys here, and he does deliver volley here. What are these Yari keys doing for Klayton? This is not great at all. And this engagement here, the Royal Marines getting smashed heavily by the infantry of the marine. Not actually the best kills on this unit. If you look at the Royal Marines, not cost effective. Only 100 kills on useless like Red Bears. Well, the Red Bears aren't useless, but you know what I mean. Spear Levy here get routed off the field. Looks like the Yarki is gonna make it into Revolver Cav here. So Revolver Cav gonna take some damage for sure. The Royal Marines in the center taking massive damage. And looks like a nice volley here from this White Bear, but now we'll see this Red Bear giving inflating fire on this White Bear. Actually, it's not really inflating fire, but still, it's almost there, I guess you could say. Almost there. This White Bear is kind of doing some strange things, though. As you can see, it has an attack or on that Royal Marine, which has already routed. Bit late reaction by Greyhound here, but it might end up working okay for him, potentially. Looks like there's naval bombardment here. It actually is going to hit the Red Bear here. This Revolver of Klayton has gotten some kills. It looks like potentially on Yari keys and the Red Bear. If it got mostly on Yari keys, it's definitely worth it. But on the Red Bear, not so sure. This White Bear looks like it's going to deliver the finishing blow to this White Bear. Actually, no, because looks like this one is also going to fire back. And now it got its morale back. So this engagement is fairly crazy. Saber Cav going to make it into the Shogunate Guard infantry, which could turn the tide around here in the center potentially. Yari keys of Greyhound coming in to make sure this Yari key of Klayton is off the field to allow this Red Bear to get some more shots off. Revolver Cav of Klayton going for his YOLO charge down mid, it seems, against the Shogunate Guard infantry. Looks like he really wants to take out this Shogunate Guard infantry, but it might end up backfiring because Infantry the Marine is finishing off that Revolver Cav. The Shogunate Guard infantry is alive. Yariki here disrupting these White Bears really nicely. Spear Levy came back here, but it's not actually engaging in melee, but it did actually catch a few of the Saber Cav here. But the Saber Cav is engaging the Shogunate Guard infantry right now, which is actually going to get destroyed by the Infantry the Marine, because not only is it engaged with Saber Cav, but the Infantry the Marine can get excellent shots off. And look at all the fog on this battlefield. It's really difficult to see what's happening. Now this Red Bear is engaged, but the Shogunate Guard infantry will easily get rid of it. Looks like stand and fight for Greyhound's general is used over there. Now the right flank of Greyhound isn't going to do too well. This is the flank where he might end up losing. But even so, he still has this Infantry de Marine, which could totally finish off the Shogunate Guard infantry. But looks like, yeah, there is no line of sight here, and he's still getting destroyed by the single Shogunate Guard infantry. So this Shogunate Guard infantry is paying for itself right now. Looks like it's still getting so many kills on that infantry, the marine. It is massive. Meanwhile, this Shogunate Guard infantry is not getting the best volleys off. It's getting destroyed by a red bear, actually. And right now we see Greyhound pulling back, and he's gonna lose his infantry, the marine, due to fire from both the Shogunate Guard infantry and the red bear. So all of a sudden, Greyhound now has the disadvantage in this game. He still has his general. Klayton has his, but it's gonna rout. So there is still a way for Greyhound to do this, specifically because he has his infantry, the marine, which has superior range over all of these units. But he's going to start hemorrhaging units left and right, as you can see here. The Shogunate Guard infantry is actually going to end up beating the red bear. So this is a great engagement for Greyhound, if he can actually win that engagement, which he really should be winning. But losing this unit here was not great. He is cutting back with the infantry, the marine, which is what he should be. And he does not have the archery dojo, which gives Klayton a pretty big advantage here. And looks like the infantry marine could not pull back, so this was a mistimed attack from Greyhound, actually, because his infantry, the marine, got shot. And now this red bear is definitely going to go down here because there's cav coming in, but this could be a bit of a waste because the cav shouldn't go directly for one unit. In fact, Greyhound could have still won from this point, but I think this is going to make it really, really difficult for him to win. But looks like he's still going to potentially turn it around. Now he's definitely got it. He's got the Shogunate Guard infantry coming from the top of the ridge. It's going to rout the Shogunate Guard infantry, also getting the very nice first shot off on it. Now the infantry, the marine here, is targeting down this Shogunate Guard infantry because he knows that if he finishes this unit, this one routs. And indeed, this one routs, and now the Shogunate Guard infantry routs as well. And we have a victory for Greyhound, one of the closest games I have ever seen here so far in this tournament. And looks like the game just finished, and probably we won't have the results screen, so that means see you in game number 2. Actually, we do have the results screen here. My bad. So they were actually saved. Okay, so Greyhound getting not as many kills, but he didn't even deploy the more men, but looks like his elite units stayed in the fight until the end. If we look at the stats, look at these Shogunate Guard infantry, the marine stats. Pretty sick. For Klayton, his Shogunate Guard infantry definitely doing really good. Revolver cav for both sides. Doing meh for Greyhound, but alright for Klayton actually. 130 kills. But yeah, now for going into the real game 2. This is game 2 of the match on Upper Ridge this time. I imagine it's also a spectator replay, so we won't be able to go over the builds in detail. Gonna have to go with the general gist of the build, and maybe actually that is a better thing to do because it takes quite a while to go over the builds, right? It is something you can look at in the post-game screen more in depth, I think. So maybe that is something that I could definitely change. I'm not sure yet. Let me know what you think, if I should go for the complete builds or just skip it on. Actually, we have the proper replay here, so we can go into slow motion to go over the builds this time, though. For Klayton, we have Generals Haramoto. Looks like full command here. We see on the field a single 150. It's a United States Marine unit with a Shogunate Guard infantry. Then we see 2 Shogunate Guard infantry, actually. In total, we see a white bear and a red bear. The first line supporting these units. Now, right behind them, looks like 2 white bears. Now for the cav contingent, we have 3 Yarikis. There we go, 1 is rank 2. And we also see a revolver cav. So, interesting build by Klayton here. Now, for Greyhound, let's see what we see. So he has his Generals Haramono here, full command again, I imagine. We see a revolver cav here with the Yariki rank 2. Then we have Royal Marines in the center, 1 Shogunate Guard infantry on each flank. So it seems like pretty close composition in terms of elite infantry. Quite nice to see. Definitely can be very effective on this map. Now, for the rest of Greyhound's build, we see 2 Yarikis here. And I do like the rest of his composition slightly more because he has 2 red bears on the flank here, which is great. But so does Klayton, actually. Oh, did I not see those units? Oh yeah, he has one red bear on each flank, so that's really good by Klayton, actually, as well. Anyway, back to the real deal. These Yarikis, one was vanilla, one rank 2. Then, yeah, a bunch of red bears, which is great. That's like 3 of them. 4 red bears. There was a black bear somewhere. Okay, there's the black bear, and those are the builds. Now the dojos, we should see the archery dojo here, shrine here, and sword dojo right over there. Now it looks like Klayton is first in position on this side, but he needs to be careful because he has to defend this red bear here so that he gets the sword dojo. But he definitely is going to have this one. No way Greyhound can contest it. Especially if Klayton gives cav support to his red bear, he's definitely safe there. Now it looks like on this side, Klayton also has the advantage because he's gonna get the archery dojo. So archery dojo and sword dojo in his possession. But Klayton makes a mistake here. Yes, he has the forest here, which is great, but he's being fired upon by, like, he's gonna get fired upon by multiple units. And he's not actually doing damage to the Royal Marines right now, so Klayton is gonna lose his US Marines pretty handily here if he isn't careful. He's already taken massive damage on him. But nice charge by Klayton straight into that Shogunate Guard infantry. There is a revolver cav here though to support it, so that could be troublesome. Very nice naval bombardment onto those Shogunate Guard infantry, doing significant damage to them. They're down to 93 men. Might lose even more men here. Naval bombardment over here as well, but US Marines of Klayton have killed almost nobody and taken so much damage. But Klayton could just... He's really disrupting these lines. The Yariki is still alive here. And now Red Bear here gonna get shot at by White Bear. But Red Bear should win in melee, but not when it's down so many men. Now the engagement over here looks like it's going Klayton's way. He's gonna pull out his revolver, which looks like it's gonna lose a lot of men as it gets shot by these Red Bears here. So it looks like Greyhound is gonna turn this fight around now, actually. Initially I thought Klayton had the advantage, but Greyhound turned it around. Now on this side, Klayton has the advantage for sure. He's got extra units on this side just against the Red Bear. He's gonna have to reposition, but while running away, it looks like this unit is actually running. I thought it was walking. But again, archery dojo for Klayton, sword dojo for Klayton, giving him huge boosts in this game. Very, very important stuff for him. White Bear here in the center could target down the Saber Cav. And he really needs to kill that Saber Cav. What is this White Bear doing? Looks like it's going to go for frontal charge. But this is a really bad maneuver because this is going to be a unit lost for free, basically. Klayton is going to give away this unit for not much gain here. This is a good engagement for Klayton, but this engagement right here is an awful one. He's going to lose this unit very soon without... Getting only 31 kills, not what you want to see. And his Shogunate Guard infantry is still alive here. He does have his revolver back. I suppose it routed. He's going to end up winning the left flank and the right flank. So actually he traded pretty decently, it seems. Again, mostly because of the dojos, I would argue. He even has the shrine right now. So he has all 3 dojos over Greyhound. So he's able to play the attrition game here. Looks like the general of Greyhound is actually committing, which means Klayton's general might commit as well. Naval bombardment almost hitting Klayton's general. Ooh. Gets hit and loses a few men. But Greyhound is going to take losses on his Shogunate Guard infantry here. This White Bear should not be shooting this blob. This White Bear should be shooting at the Royal Marines, if anything. Killing the Royal Marines right now is the most important thing. And looks like they're going to target them down. That's a great maneuver. Now these guys are pulling through, so they might end up taking more damage than they should be against the Shogunate Guard infantry. But now here comes Greyhound's potentially hero Yariki unit going to go for a rear charge onto this White Bear, it appears. Going to do so much damage here. This is a great charge. And now Greyhound's going to do more damage to these units here. So this is where Greyhound seems to be turning it around. But the problem is Klayton has plenty of units on this side, and he still has the revolver cap over there. And now here comes the flanking fire from the Shogunate Guard infantry. Charged by Klayton's general as well. And here come the Shogunate Guard infantry. Actually, I thought they were charging, but they're targeting down the Royal Marines, which is a great maneuver as well. They gotta kill them. So Klayton's general is holding down these Red Bears here. Meanwhile, the Shogunate Guard infantry actually just targets down the Royal Marines. This is quite necessary because the Royal Marines can be a huge pain to deal with. On this flank, again, looks like Klayton is turning it around. Well, he had the disadvantage. So this is going to be game. Interesting one for sure. And obviously Klayton won this one, but he won mostly because of the Dojos, I would argue. They really helped him out a lot in this battle. That is for sure. Dojos just so good. Having the sword dojo and the archery dojo, it just changes, makes a world of difference, really. Like, just think about it. You can kill enemy units faster in melee, which means you will take less damage with your melee units, and you will finish flanks up faster if you charge with Yariki. It also means that your own cav is stronger than the enemy cav, so you can take more reliable engagements with cav against the enemy cav. Meanwhile, what it also means, well, not that dojo, but the archery dojo gives the advantage to Klayton again because it gives him so much more reload. And his units weren't really capped on reload. Like, for instance, I suppose his Marines were, but the other units that Klayton had were not capped when it came to reload. So the archery dojo definitely helped in that regard. What I mean by reload capping is essentially some units in Fall of the Samurai have a minimum reload time, I suppose you could say, and there are a few factors determining it, but there's one, for instance, is the type of rifle, and another is the reload animation, I suppose you could say. So breech loading rifles being the better rifles to have, I suppose. Anyway, let's look at the statistics in game 2 here. Kill wise, Shogunate Guard Infantry doing massive damage, White Bears. Now for Greyhound, yeah, not a lot of kills here. Surprised the Royal Marines didn't do so well, and actually, yeah, the US Marines did terribly, which was evident because of Klayton's maneuver in the beginning. He essentially gave them up by sending them into the forest, and normally putting Marines in the forest is really nice and makes them even more cost effective. What ended up happening is that he took fire. Like, he gave up the first shot, and on top of that, he also took fire from multiple units, which really meant that his Marine couldn't be effective that game. But that is game 2. See you in game number 3. This is game 3 on Senrikuria. And in this game, on this map, I have a feeling there is a possibility that we may not see 150s. So we'll see how that actually plays out. I mean, there are still ways to use 150s on this map, but your opponent can play around that here, I would say. So let's go into slow motion and watch this battle ensue. So for Klayton, we have Command General, full command that is. Some Yarikis on the field as well. Looks like, I believe it's 4 Yarikis. Definitely is. This one is vanilla. These other ones are vanilla as well. So is it 3 or 4? 4 Yarikis, yeah, they're all vanilla. Of course, we see a saber cap and the revolver as well. Now have a red bear on the left flank. Looks like 2 white bears on the right, 2 Shogun Guard infantry in the center, and actually 2 red bears on the left. Not the best thing to do here, I think. I would have put 1 red bear here and the other red bear on this flank instead of this white bear. So I would have changed this unit right here with this unit right here, and it would have been really good, I think, because putting red bears on the flanks is better, because generally when your opponent charges your units with cav, well, that's the flank and not really in the center area. Anyway, for Greyhound, what do we have? Well, we see the full command general as well. We have Shogun Guard infantry on the field as well. Looks like 2 of them. and a US Marine, of course, with increased range. Why else would you bring it? We see a Revolver Cav, and looks like 3 Yari keys on this flank. I cannot see their upgrades properly. Looks like rank 1 and vanilla. Okay, probably another Yari key hidden somewhere, but anyway, for the rest of the build, looks like 4 red bears, maybe a 5th one somewhere. Looks like there's a white bear here. Honestly, I would have brought another white bear because I believe it's max 5 of the same unit. Another red bear that's like rank 1. It's more efficient than a vanilla white bear in my opinion. Anyway, dojo wise we see workshop and the archery dojo. Let's hit play. Looks like there's naval bombardment being launched over here and here as well. So this is going to be a bit great naval bombardment here, actually. This could do potentially a lot of damage because it looks like Greyhound hasn't really noticed yet. Ooh, it could actually hit him here and do massive damage, but might be just a tad late. Looks like it's going to be a tad late. I mean, it's still going to hit the red bear, apparently. But it's not hitting anything, which I don't see why. Finally it happened, so it took a while, but oh, it actually hit the US Marines! So many kills on the US Marines and killing even more of the US Marines. And still more hits on the US Marines. This is huge for Klayton, and it looks like his cav also gets hit somewhat here, but on the other side here, Klayton is pushing up. This is not a good push. The Shogun Guard infantry is gonna get shot potentially by 2 units. This unit can't shoot though. It has line of sight issues, so eventually this unit is actually gonna beat up the red bear, but it's gonna take some time. Now here, Greyhound, this isn't a great engagement for Greyhound, I would think, if Klayton sends in his units. But actually, his US Marines are firing here, and there's no elite here for Klayton, so I suppose, but oh, this is such a nice charge by the hierarchy of Klayton over there. Great engagement. On this side, nothing really is happening. The Shogun Guard infantry is actually losing here because it gave like 2 volleys, I think, before it actually fired, I believe. Now here, this red bear has been routed off the field. Here comes Klayton with his cav. He's gonna go straight with 1 hierarchy into these 2 hierarchies here. We'll see about that. But here comes the Saber cav straight into the Shogun Guard infantry. So that is going to be huge. Now, what Klayton has to do is he has to get his cav into the revolver cav because that unit has to die. Revolvers of Klayton, not the best position here, actually. They're not really getting the most value for their worth in that scenario. Looks like Klayton gonna push up here with 2 against 1, so this engagement he should be one that he wins. He does pull back his Shogun Guard infantry here, and Greyhound makes a mistake with the white bear. This unit is a goner, basically, right now. Goodbye, white bear. Now, looks like a nice cav charge here by Klayton Saber cav into the US Marines, doing huge damage. Saber cav here killing red bears, so overall really good cav usage by Klayton, I should say. His general does get caught though, but these hierarchies are not in the best spot, and this revolver cav is just gonna finish them off unless the general of Klayton needs to be careful with his general because oh, the revolver is actually out of ammo, isn't it? Yeah, and it didn't become cost effective, but does it matter? Not sure, because again, he has the farmhouse, he has the archery dojo, which is massive. Nobody took the workshop because it's not really as important as the other dojos, but Greyhound is going to end up losing his red bears here. As you can see, this white bear is goner. Saber cav destroying the general of Greyhound, and this is going to be the last unit to fall as it gets routed off the field. That is going to give game 3, I believe it is game 3, right? To Klayton. And now let's take a look at the statistics. Some really nice engagements by Klayton. Again, dojo advantage, which is always good, obviously. And nice cav engagements, getting rid of the enemy lines. And yeah, I did like his cav play for sure in this game. Klayton's, that is. Now let's look at the unit stats. Saber cav doing damage, white bears for Greyhound. Yeah, nothing here doing a significant amount of damage. So that was game 3. See you in game 4. This is game 4 on Kawabe River. One of my favorite maps to play on. in Fall of the Samurai at least. I really like this as a Fall of the Samurai map because you can do so much on this map. Different viable strategies that you can employ basically. Also depends on the attacker-defender rules, of course, because, for instance, if you're a defender and there's like the archery dojo here, you can set up on this ridge line if you want, and also give you a huge advantage over your opponent because he has to go uphill into a forest. So if you can effectively cover this area, it's gonna be great for you. Now, obviously, you don't need to put units around here, at least not exactly here, because you can send some units around from here to here. So you don't need to cover this as much, but if you cover this area, and if you cover this area, it's gonna be really difficult for someone to break you. And obviously, you're gonna need to cover this area, because cavalry can sneak through here still pretty quickly. Anyway, let's go over the dojos. So, oh, I'm gonna want to see it from this angle. Okay, Klayton. No, Klayton is not a dojo. We have the workshop, we have shrine, and we have sword dojo on the field. Klayton has a command gen, full command that is. Cav-wise, we see looks like 3 Yariki with a revolver and a saber cav on the right flank. Probably a Yariki on the left flank. No, that's a saber cav. Okay. So this one was okay. That was not actually Yariki. So it's 2 saber cav in total. Interesting. And there is the 4th Yariki, I suppose. That is the 4th one. Lots of cav for Klayton. Anyway, for his melee line, we see looks like 1, 2, 3 white bears, a shogunate guard infantry, and a U.S. Marine on the field. So fairly sturdy line contingent as well, but he doesn't have a lot of lines. He has just, how many is this? This is 5 lines, right? Yes, it's 5 lines. I can count, thankfully, still. If I couldn't count that, that would be pretty bad. For sure. Anyway, for Greyhound, what do we have? Well, we see the General's Haramoto. It's a command gen. We have on the field, looks like an Imperial Guard infantry and a Shogunate Guard infantry. This is a bad idea. I imagine this was a mistake because Imperial Guard infantry is slightly more expensive than Shogunate Guard infantry with the same stats. So that honestly is definitely a mistake, I think. Then we have, or just probably Greyhound didn't look and he accidentally selected that instead of a second Shogunate Guard infantry, I'm imagining. Anyway, he has this infantry, the Marine, so he has 3 elites in total. Then we see, looks like 2 red bears and 2 white bears. We also have a decent cav contingent here on this flank. Looks like 2 Yariki, one's rank 2, and this revolver, pretty potent cav on this flank. Of course, with a saber cav and a Yariki over there as well. So what's gonna end up happening here is that Klayton gets the workshop, so he's already got a dojo for himself, a really good dojo as well, and he gets the shrine. So 2 dojos for sure that he'll have. And looks like he's also moving across with 2 red bears to try and secure the sword dojo as well. So Klayton is doing some really good moves in this game, I would say honestly. So I really like how he's playing right now. He's keeping the gen in the back. This potentially may not be necessary to keep him so far back. He could put him up here and it would be really good, but still. Looks like his saber cav gets a little bit tangled on the Yariki here, but the Yariki does not get a good engagement here. Takes more damage than it dealt to the saber cav. Now Klayton has a good position over here because he can potentially flank Greyhound's units. So Greyhound has to be really careful on this side, but oh, Greyhound, devastating volley onto Klayton's red bear there. That did so much damage. It was quite big actually. Let's hit play and see how it goes. Oh, there's the naval bombardment coming in, but doesn't really hit much. Actually hits nothing. Here comes Klayton straight up with a saber cav. This might not do so much, honestly. This is not going to be an effective saber cav, I think. But looks like Greyhound has 3 cav units, 3 cav units here. They're gonna get disrupted, so that's not really good for him as well. Nothing happening on this flank. Looks like Greyhound is just gonna pull back on this flank, but he's getting a good engagement here. Greyhound, that is. He has this Marine here that's not gonna be targeted by anything, except the naval bombardment, it seems like. Greyhound is losing his cav on this side, though. That's not good for him, but the revolver cav is smashing through this hierarchy of Klayton. And that's a really good move for Greyhound, actually. He's doing so well on this side, actually. Shogunate Guardian Infantry still alive here. He's smashing those hierarchies. So, Klayton's attack on this left flank here was a disaster. And we're gonna have to be... I mean, he's gonna have to be really careful with how he pushes up here, because Greyhound is now in the position I was talking about earlier. He has this ridgeline here with the forest. He's shooting downhill into Klayton, and Klayton has no cover. He's also running through the water, which slows him down, with giving the infantry, the marine, more time to do damage with its 150. But looks like, yeah, the infantry, the marine went hidden for a second, but these are some nice lines of fire for Greyhound. You can see one unit can fire from this slightly less elevated position above, below that infantry, the marine. You can see on this side, Klayton's definitely lost here because Greyhound's got the units available to deal with it. Greyhound's getting a nice hierarchy charge here into this US Marine as well. So much damage being dealt to this US Marine. Over here, Greyhound did get a Saber Cav into the Imperial Guard infantry, but I don't think that's going to matter. Here comes his Klayton did, not Greyhound. But Greyhound's Revolver Cav going to finish up this Saber Cav, and with that... Oh, Klayton has more cav on the field, but his general is gonna die. The hierarchy that he has is gonna die. Nice cav charge by Greyhound, disrupting 2 of these important units that Klayton has here. And Klayton is gonna be down to just this single White Bear infantry unit pretty soon. But the revolver cav could just smash it. Looks like it's just charging into it. Doesn't have any ammo left. It has plenty of kills though, so again, you can see the revolver cav still quite useful even after it gets loses all its ammo. You can see with that charge, actually got a significant amount of kills against this White Bear. I guess you could say partially because he has the... No, he doesn't actually have the sword doge right now. Huh, interesting. But yeah, that is the game. So now it's going to be 2-2. Both players with the match point. They're going to be playing a tiebreaker in this series. The first series that I've casted so far, part of this tournament, that gets to a tiebreaker. Quite interesting. Just waiting for the game to load up. There we go. So, let's look at the stats. Kills for Revolver Cav, yeah, definitely paid for itself here. Your keys, much damage was done. Infantry, the Marine, yeah, very well used here. For Klayton, nothing to write songs about, really, here. But that was game 4. See you in the tiebreaker. We're about to get into game 5. The tiebreaker of this match should be really, really fun. Because this match has been quite exciting so far. Probably one of the highest skill games I've seen so far in this matches I've seen so far in this tournament as of round 1. I think it's the closest and the one where the players are most evenly matched, and the one where we see the highest skill in as well, I would say. So I have really enjoyed this game so far, honestly, because both of these players, they do know what they are doing, for sure. Of course, I am waiting to just get into the game, but sometimes it's difficult. There we go. So, let's look at the dojos. We have the farmhouse, we have the workshop, and the archery dojo on the field. Klayton's build, we see the command gen as always. Looks like none of them has changed the general, and I wonder if the rules prohibited that as well. I think they might have. Anyway, Klayton's got 3, looks like 2 Yariki here, vanilla with a revolver cav as well. 2 more Yariki, vanilla on the left flank as well. Now for his composition, what do we actually see? We see a red bear over here with 2 white bears on the far right, where he's taking the farmhouse, and soon he will actually have the workshop as well. We see more white bears, another Royal Marine, another white bear, 2 Shogunate Guard infantry on the field as well. Now for Greyhound, we have his command general and no units here, so he's gonna give up from the get-go 2 Dojos. And cav-wise, we see 2 Yarikis on this flank, looks like both rank 2 with revolver cav. Then we see Spear Levy. We have a Yariki, probably rank 2 here, which is actually getting shot. The engagement already starting here. Klayton is using his 150 and getting it shot at, which isn't the most ideal way of using your 150, because clearly he should be kiting back here and not taking the engagement like this. This is not the greatest thing he could be doing. But Greyhound is blobbing up, and so his Royal Marine is also taking some damage here. But anyway, let's go over Greyhound's build while we still have time. So we see, in terms of elite infantry, just this Royal Marine and I believe probably 2 Shogunate Guard infantry. Yes, 2 Shogunate Guard infantry. Then normal lines, 2 red bears on this flank, another red bear over here. And actually, yeah, 2 red bears on this flank with a Spear Levy as well. Let's hit play. And this is a horrible position for Greyhound. You can see these 3 units are blobbing hard. They're under suppression fire as well. Klayton has a much better spread of his lines. He's getting flanking fire here. And Klayton's got a really nice charge off into Greyhound's cav and his infantry. So it looks like Klayton here is going to have a really good engagement. And the naval bombardment could give him the victory here in the center. This is a super effective engagement for Klayton right now. Because he's killing the Royal Marines, he's killing the Shogunate Guard infantry, and Greyhound just continues to go forward. Shogunate Guard infantry here not getting the best engagement, but once the Spear Levy is routed, Klayton should win that flank easily for sure. Here comes Greyhound, but his cav is going to get a bit shot before he engages. However, he's going to make it into the Royal Marines, but Greyhound is losing more of his cav here. And these units in the center have taken such significant damage that I don't think Greyhound is going to be able to take this game right now. Revolver Cav might end up finishing off the Royal Marines, but not if Klayton's Revolver Cav is here to counter Greyhound's Revolver Cav. So very nice use of the Revolver Cav by Klayton here. He's also winning on this flank quite nicely. He's going to go probably for a rear charge on that Red Bear. Really nice flanking shots by Klayton's units here, and a nice Cav charge into the Royal Marines. Shogunate Guard infantry should stop them from firing as well. Here comes the naval bombardment, doing even more damage as if it was needed onto those Royal Marines and Shogunate Guard infantry. So this, I just don't see how this is going to be a victory now for Greyhound. And honestly, look at the carnage here, all of these bodies here. This really is the reason why Greyhound lost here, because blobbing up too many units here and getting them shot at from all these angles, and also by a Royal Marine here, is not what you want to see. Look, this unit has almost 300 kills throughout this game, and look at the kills on these units too. They have definitely paid for himself, and now there goes the victory for Klayton, who takes actually a relatively easy fifth game for sure here, comparatively to the other 4 games in the series. I mean, really, this fifth game, you could really see that Greyhound actually choked in this game, because he definitely didn't play at all to the best of his ability, at least in the games he's shown before. Lots of blubbing and lots of mistakes. Now for Klayton, look at the kills here. So efficient. I mean, early on wasn't looking good, because he took a volley from a Red Bear, but he ended up doing fine because Greyhound started blubbing there, so Klayton could take a really good engagement. Now though, for Greyhound, you can see no units got really cost efficient. Klayton not even losing 600 men. He didn't even lose half his men, much less than half. and he takes the game in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Very, very quick game. And I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and I'll see you next time.